Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Crypto Wednesday. I am Shelly Palmer, and I am hoping this is all awesome. We are in a brand new location up at Candlewood Lake in Connecticut, and we are on a new box once again. Last week we had a crypto crash as well as a technology crash, which was really unfortunate. So today I'm hoping that things are great. Please check in if you are on YouTube Live, if you are with us on LinkedIn Live or on Facebook Live. Welcome, everybody. This is my favorite time of the week. We've had such a busy crypto week this week. Unbelievable. So please check in on chat, because chat's where everything happens, and it's how I know you're here. This is also an Ask Me Anything kind of day. So we're going to go over a whole bunch of crypto news today. Hey there, Mary Beth McCabe. Welcome. Steve Burgess, welcome. Thank you. I like the lighting too. Justin, welcome. Hello from Kansas. Yeah, tell me where you are and tell each other what you do so we understand what everybody does for a living, because that would be awesome. Althar, welcome from Cleveland. So yeah, we're having a good time here. I'm doing the very best I can under, let's just say, less than ideal circumstances. Thank you very much Spectrum for our 100 megabit per second connection that is nowhere near 100 megabits. And thank you for the 30 up, which is nowhere near 30 up. Terrifying. So we're trying to be on 3 streams at once. Never a good idea. Never a good idea with such limited bandwidth, but that's okay. It'll be more like the rest of the universe. So it's all right. Welcome. Glad to have everybody here today. So look, this was a crazy crypto week, and I want to jump right into it because there was so much to cover. We're going to spend the next half hour, 45 minutes talking about the crypto world. If you've got crypto questions, this is the time to ask. It is a very confusing time in crypto land. I will give you that. I have not seen it this crazy in a long, long time. But let's get right into it. So the crypto markets today are volatile. Bitcoin's been bubbling around 30 grand, and it's been, let me just look and see what it is right now. I always say to myself, I'm going to do this in advance, and I never get to it. Where are we today? So Bitcoin's at 34,000. It's been between 32 and 36,000 all week. It had been much higher. I've been at 64,000 in May. It hasn't been above 40,000 in a while. What else we got here? Ethereum's at 23.45 right now. It had been as low as about $2,000 last week. It's been bubbling around 21 to 2,400 bucks. Polygon has been okay, nowhere near the Matic tokens. $1.13 right now. It's been as high as $1.50. It's been as low as 75 cents. Cardano is bubbling around $1.42 USD. Yeah, and Polkadot's disappointing at the moment. It's at 16.84. It's been as high as $24, $25, and it's been lower. It's been $13, $14. So it's banging around. And the dark horse in my sort of index of things I like to look at, Chainlink, is at 20 bucks. It has been as high as $55, $60. It's definitely grinding its way back up, and that's a utility token that should be doing better than it is. So yeah, we're not loving what we're seeing there. There are a bunch of reasons. Before we get too deep into crypto today, I want to talk a little bit about the ransomware attacks that have been going on. If you've been paying attention in class, you know that there has been a fair number of ransomware attacks, but the biggest one happened this week. I'll make this a little bigger for you. The biggest ransomware attack that we've ever seen ever happened this past weekend over July 4th holiday weekend. Wow, this was brutal. This is a company called Cassia, which is a utility company, got hit, and they got hit by a bunch of, they think it was ReEvil using ransomware as a service, meaning that they rented the ransomware and they just infiltrated. The way they infiltrated was during a Cassia upgrade. What Cassia does is virtual storage applications, and they maximize virtual storage. So during an upgrade, they literally sent these malicious bots out into the world. And the crazy part about that is it infiltrated not only the ISPs that are Casilla's clients, but then infiltrated down to the ISP's clients. So somewhere around 1,500, maybe more, small businesses were impacted by this. The hackers have done such a good job, literally such a good job, that they're negotiating. They're down to $50 million because I don't think they think they're going to be able to manage all of the individual ransoms that they'd have to collect. I just think that's insane. Now, ransomware is generally paid in crypto. So when a ransomware attack like this happens, it's not good for the crypto business because everybody's thinking that this is going to be, where crypto is best used. It's the highest, best use case for cryptocurrency. Obviously is not ransomware, but the way that the thieves are planning to get paid is through cryptocurrency, paid to anonymous wallets. As you know, when DarkSide did this a few weeks ago with the Colonial Pipeline, they were caught. Now, is it folly to think that if you leave your cryptocurrency on a blockchain and the transactions are in plain sight that you won't get caught? And the answer to that is it's reasonable to assume that because the wallets can be anonymous, and while you may know where the transaction is, you may not be able to find the wallet. What everybody believes is that they left the Colonial Pipeline money, the cryptocurrency, in a hot wallet, meaning a wallet that was online, so it was relatively easy for the FBI to go and get at least some of it. Here, we don't know how they're going to approach it, but this is always problematic for the crypto biz. Hey, Charlie from Detroit, glad you're here. Steve Catola from Toronto, glad you're here. Richard Eastburn from Venice, Florida, glad you're here. Wow, what a nice crowd today. Thanks, everybody. Please weigh in. If you're on LinkedIn or you're on Facebook and you're watching, you can, Joey Lewandowski, who makes the trains run on time at the Palmer Group, is monitoring those channels, and he will send me via either Slack or internal to vMix your questions. So please feel free to ask your questions. I can't call you out because I can't necessarily see you directly as I can see my friends on YouTube Live. But if you're on Facebook, you're on LinkedIn, and I see many of you are, please just ask your questions, talk amongst yourselves, tell us where you are, and we'll try to get you up on the screen, and we'll try to answer your questions. So I want to talk a little bit now about what's gone on in China the last 48 or so hours. It has been a kind of an interesting, let's see if I can bring this up here. It's been a kind of an interesting day from a China perspective. Their war on crypto has gotten amped up pretty significantly. And what we saw, the Central Bank of China, let me see if I can put this up here. Do I have it? Yeah, we actually put it at shellypalmer.com. They wrote this memo here. It says, Risk Reminder on Preventing Virtual Currency Trading Activities. Now, I translated this with Google Translate, so I'm sure it's not a perfect translation, but it's pretty decent. I'll read a little bit to you. Here we solemnly warn, I assume that just means they strongly warn, relevant institutions within our jurisdiction not to provide business premises, commercial display, marketing, and paid diversion services for virtual currency-related business activities. Financial institutions and payment institutions within the jurisdiction shall not directly or indirectly provide virtual currency-related services to customers. Basically, they said, it's over. You are there. This is the 5th time I think they've banned crypto in China, so it's pretty bad from that respect. But the way I know it's right, the way I know it's actually happening is here. This is the story that tells me it's real. This story here. Oops, I don't want the latest news, but thank you. You've got GPU units on sale. Here's a pull from a Chinese auction site. They've got 3060s, 3090s. These are all the current 3000 series generation graphics cards, the GPUs from the NVIDIA 3000 series, which come from many different manufacturers. So these aren't necessarily all NVIDIA cards, but they are realistically somewhere below half price online. You can't get them for over full price in America if you can get them at all. And the reason is that plane loads of these GPUs were going to China, and now they're not. Now they're done. So it's like, wow, that is a big deal. That is absolutely proof positive that nothing great is happening. And it lets me know that China is very serious about getting rid of crypto. Here's the thing that I think is most interesting about that, and you may think it's interesting too. I don't think anybody cares in the West. I really don't. I don't think anybody cares at all. I think that it's priced into the market. The hash rate came down pretty significantly. So we had a decrease in the hash rate, 5-7% last weekend when the first set of miners went offline. Now, roughly 30-40% of all Bitcoin mining has left China. They're gone. We spoke to a company that does management of electric tool sets for big data centers yesterday. And I won't tell you who they are because I don't want to betray their confidences or their prospective clients. But they told us that they've been getting calls for the last 90 days from mining organizations in China moving to Texas, moving to Nebraska, and setting up in data centers there. So it's pretty clear. The good news is the Bitcoin blockchain algorithm adjusts itself. So the algorithm makes the mathematical puzzle that a miner has to solve either just a little easier or just a little harder based on what the hash rate is, aggregate the hash rate is for all the computers, all the 11,000 plus nodes and all the mining tools that are being used. So I don't think Bitcoin's in any danger of slowing down or speeding up because a few Chinese, even half the Chinese miners went offline, and they'll be back. And then having it not be in China, I don't think that's a negative. I don't think anybody thinks that's a negative, that, some of the big mining pools have left China. Okay, we'll live. Again, this is your time. So if you're on YouTube Live, please let me know that you're there. Let me know what you're doing. Ask some questions. If you're on Facebook Live or if you're on LinkedIn Live, just ask your questions and Joey will bring them over to me. So let's go talk a little bit about what else happened in the last little bit. Let's see. Okay, let's try some of this. So the UK is clearly very scared of crypto. And what we saw last week was the British Financial Conduct Authority. They kind of regulate all things in Great Britain, financial. And they refused to allow crypto exchanges to apply for regulation. Specifically Binance, which is the largest of the crypto exchanges in the world. This is interesting because it doesn't say that much about what's going to happen to cryptocurrency in the UK. It's legal to buy and sell crypto in the UK. It's not legal. Well, you can't do some of the derivative financial products that you can do here in the United States, or that you can do, let's say, where it's not regulated at all, because to do a derivative product, to do the kind of liquidity pools that are very popular with altcoins, you would need some regulation because would be considered speculation and I guess an equity. I don't know if they've classified crypto as an equity or a bond or a stock, or I don't know if they've classified them at all, but it doesn't matter because the British regulators said, we're not going to regulate, so don't even apply. I don't know that the crypto world, I don't know if the newbies reacted by selling a lot of their coins, which if you're in, be in. If you're not in, don't be in. But the bigger problem, I think, is that it becomes unclear how the central banks are going to think about cryptocurrency long term. Right now, what they are is clearly scared. And that's never good. That's just never good. Getting back into craziness, you remember when Nyan Cat sold back in December for in 2020 for $590,000, kind of starting the NFT craze. Well, NFTs, I don't know if you want to call them a craze. I don't know that we can call them a craze. I don't know that I want to call them a craze. I just want to say that they're a new way to store value, and they're a new way to translate the value of intellectual property into wealth. Jay-Z is in it. I'm reading here from the press release. Oh my, from Jay-Z's press release. Sorry. Let me just see if there's anything interesting in this press release. I just got it the other day, and I really didn't read it that closely. Yeah, he's just taken a lot of his old albums, and he's got a collectible called Heir to the Throne, and Sotheby's is going to do. They're going to put it out at auction. I don't know. Jay-Z, like so many of the music industry elite, have jumped on the NFT bandwagon. I think that we're going to see a big story arc here with NFTs and the music industry. I think it's going to start like it is now, with everybody trying to just cash in crazily, and then it's going to find its level. And the level I think it's going to find is a way for fans to support the artists that they love directly. And I'm pretty sure that as this goes on, the NFTs, which are all smart contracts, those of you who've been with me know that all NFTs are smart contracts. All smart contracts are not NFTs. And so the NFT can have a lot more power than just being a digital collectible that has an automatic royalty payment associated with its secondary sale. That's certainly a very simple and easy thing for an NFT to do. But imagine NFTs as venue tickets or event tickets or lottery tickets to get into a list of people who are in line to get some special perk or privilege from an artist. They also are great ways to collect data. If you are an arena owner, for example, and I bring 6 friends to a basketball game or a hockey game or something that's like Madison Square Garden, Ticketmaster has no idea who I'm bringing with me. The concert promoter has no idea who I'm bringing with me. The basketball team has no idea who I'm bringing with me. I just got 5 random friends. Could be family, could be friends, they don't know. But if everyone had an NFT and those NFTs got scanned at the door, everyone had their own ticket, we'd know, and you'd want to identify with your NFT because you'd want the perks that go with it. So this is a dynamic ticketing tool set. There are so many more things you can do with it. And the same thing for a concert goer. Does it entitle you to merchandise discounts? Does it entitle you to subscriptions to services that are not available to the general public? Are we going to see NFTs that come down into the dollar range as opposed to the millions of dollar range because they're right now at a different level? So all of that is happening all at the same time. And I think as this matures over the next, call it couple of years, I don't think it's going to mature in the next couple of months. I think it's going to take a couple of years. A lot of tools have to be invented. Like a whole bunch of tools have to be invented. A whole bunch of apps have to be tested. A whole bunch of people have to go out of business hard. And unfortunately, there's a lot of things that have to go down before this gets sorted out. I'll say it that way. This week there was a lot of noise about quantum computing. It's one of my favorite subjects. If you haven't played with qubits, you should. Quantum computing, for those of you who don't follow quantum computing, it's a next generation computational tool set. They're in the computer world that we live in, the regular computer world that I'm on right now, that you're on right now, that we're all enjoying right this second. The way the computer works is there are binary digits, bits. And what a bit is 1 or 0, on or off. There's only 2 states. And you have bits that go into bytes, and these bytes are words. And you could have 8-bit bytes, and you could have 16-bit bytes, and you could have a 64-bit byte, you could have a 64-byte experience. There's all kinds of ways to divide up the number of bits and bytes, and they're all cute. Part of a byte is called a nibble. I forget precisely what qualifies you to be a nibble. They're all with a Y. There are lots of cute computer names, but basically it's binary digits, and everything's on or off, 1 or 0. That's the way it works. And all computer language that we use right now is based on binary, which is a mathematical construct that makes up a whole bunch of numbers, pretty much almost every number. Not such great floating point numbers, but great number. You can pretty much represent everything with ones and zeros, and we do. So that's normal computing. It has some limits. We can parallel process. There's a bunch of strategies to make things faster. There are certainly supercomputers that pile tons and tons and tons and tons of transistors on tons and tons and tons of silicon, and they make massive parallel arrays, and they make massive computer arrays, very large arrays of computer chips, and they do insanely fast calculations. But they're all done in binary. The difference between a binary computer, a normal computer that you and I would have, which would be represented in our cell phone or smartphone, and every computer we see everywhere, every computer in our science, in your microwave, in your toaster oven, in doesn't matter where it is, it's a binary computer. The difference between that and a quantum computer is pretty profound. Quantum computers have qubits, and qubits have a couple of states. They have on and off, just like a regular binary computer, and then they have superpositions, the way that particles do in quantum mechanics. Now, I'm not going to try and give you a physics lesson in quantum mechanics right now because it doesn't make any sense to try to do that here. Although, if you really want it, reach out and maybe we'll do a Crypto Wednesday on quantum mechanics and quantum field theory. It's a favorite subject of mine in college. It's evolved so much, and there are so many new theories. I don't know that I'm as well read on all of the latest field theory that I was when I was in college, because there was a lot less of it back then. But favorite subject, always has been. What happens with a quantum computer is that it's capable of doing things that binary computers are not. Not everything. There's some things binary computers will still do extremely well. One of the things that it will do well, though, it is believed, is it will be able to factor prime numbers at a speed that a binary computer can't. One of the things that makes Bitcoin possible is the SHA-256 algorithm, which we've talked about many times. And the reason the SHA-256 algorithm is so important is that it has that many digits. I mean, it's that big. That's how big the possible combinations of, that's 2 to the 256. That's an insanely large number. I actually cannot read that number as a number, but it's all of them. That's one large number on all of that. So you're not going to brute force crack a number that large, factor a number that large, brute force, trying to figure out whether it's prime or not and what its public or private key partner might be. It's not really going to happen. Not in any kind of reasonable time frame, and reasonable time frame is what we're talking about. But they say that quantum computers are going to be able to do this in a matter of hours. Some people say a matter of minutes, others say a matter of days. I haven't seen it done, but there was quite a bit of stir as some major advances in quantum computing happened this week, and everybody was like, well, if we get quantum computers and they happen really soon, if this happens now, then won't you be able to crack a Bitcoin wallet? And if you can crack Bitcoin wallets, then you can crack Ethereum wallets, ETH wallets, or every other wallet. And then if you can crack digital wallets, then what good is all that? So is quantum computing the big threat to cryptocurrency? It's a really interesting question. Short answer is, I don't know. That's the short answer. I don't think that it's going to go that way. I think that when you get to quantum computing, you're going to get to quantum security. But I'm not sure that anybody's wrong about that. We've yet to see. Meanwhile, it hasn't been done. It's some of the tools you'd need are still theoretical. I would urge you to go online and search out qubits and search out some of the demo environments. There's some simulators. If you code at all, there's some simulators online that are really interesting to play with, and you might enjoy doing it if you like to code. A lot of people say the way they're going to use quantum computers is they will use binary computers for most of the program, but when they need to do some calculation that would benefit from the way that a quantum computer calculates probabilities, they'll use the quantum computer, and then they'll bring that result back in and use that result in a regular binary program. I've seen a lot of these hybrid programs in the lab. I haven't seen anything working in a way that would be practical. They're crazy expensive. They're crazy expensive to run, and they are pretty hard to build. You're not having a handheld quantum computer this week. You will, but not this week, not next week, not for a minute. I can't really give you a time frame on this. I don't think anybody can. There's a question here from Corey who asks, is it a threat to other applications of cryptography such as communications and bank records? Absolutely. Absolutely. If it's capable of cracking SHA-256, it's capable of cracking PGP, which is pretty good privacy. Any public-private key, any private-public key pair security would be at risk. Secure websites, any of that stuff, that would be, you're definitely going to be in danger. There's no question about it. So I would be remiss if I didn't sit here and say to you, it's a big deal for everybody, which is why I'm not that worried about it in the context of crypto, because in the context of crypto, it's like, by the time they get to a digital wallet, they will have already had their way with JP Morgan Chase. So, and I think everybody I know, literally everybody I know who works in the business is thinking about this now. So I just wanted to bring it up because it got noisier this week. It just got noisier this week. Howie Schwartz, I'm glad you have your power back. Welcome. We're happy to have you. So another thing that's going to happen any second, and I guess we should talk about it, is the London fork, EIP 1559, Ethereum Improvement Proposal 1559. This has been talked about so much, I'm almost sick of talking about it. This is the proposal that gets the miners irked because it goes after their mining fees. Right now, an Ethereum miner, and as you all know, I'm in a mining pool. Just so I can keep everybody honest, I'm in the Ethermine pool with a couple of 2080 processors. I probably have one of them running right now. Let me see. I'm in Connecticut, but I think I left one of them running in New York. I'm going to look just to see if I have it running. Do I? I do. Oh, how fun. Okay. So yeah. So here I'll put this up full screen. This is my little mining rig in New York that's running. It's running at 50 mega hashes per second. Wow. We've been averaging 68.6. I guess because it's not doing anything else. What are we making in money here? Let's see. Let's daily, weekly, monthly. Let's go to monthly, not euros, not whatever that is. None of these. ETHs. Yeah, we're making 0.07 ETHs a month. That's like $166 because the ETH isn't that expensive right now, or is not that high priced. I got one rig running right now, and as I've told you, this is the wallet. You're all welcome to send as much money to this wallet as you'd like. I'm totally happy to have you send as much money to this wallet up here as you'd like. But anyway, yeah, I've been running this rig and with my little mining tools, and I'm part of. It's the second largest mining pool in the world. I think the first one is Spark Pool. Why am I not in the first biggest one as opposed to the second biggest one? I don't know. I like the underdog. What can I tell you? It was easy to do. I had an extra computer laying around and I just decided to go for it. But every month I get a certain amount of ETH thrown into a wallet automatically. That wallet address is what the mine sees. They have no idea who I am. And funnily enough, I hope the IRS isn't listening, it goes to an anonymous wallet for the big $200 that it is. And I can choose what to do with it. I can convert it to another currency, or, it's manufactured money. It's like out of thin air, realistically. EIP 1559 makes that basically go away. And they've also said that they're going to, in this particular protocol, they're going to make Ethereum a deflationary currency. Pardon me. And the way they're going to do that is they're going to burn a certain amount of ETH, rather as a gas price or a mining fee for each transaction. So they'll actually burn more and more of it. And then sometime in the future, we're going to see Ethereum go to proof of stake. Apparently, there's already $13 billion staked for Ethereum 2.0. That's a lot of cash to be locked up in ETH and just sitting there so that the new mining tools can take advantage of the proof of stake protocol. There are other layer 2 solutions out there that are not Ethereum, and one of the ones I've been watching closely is Polkadot. Is it an Ethereum killer? Probably not, but it's another blockchain. It's not Ethereum. It's just they've got a layer 2 solution. They've got their own token. DOT is their token. We were watching that currency. What did I say DOT was at today? DOT's at $16.95. I've seen it as high as $22, $23. I've seen it as low as $12, $13. So they're doing okay today. Yeah, they're doing okay on Polkadot with dots. But mostly what you use dots for is to pay gas prices on the Polkadot network, which is a layer 2 solution. Very quick transactions, very low fees. So that's the thought process behind Polkadot. When is all this going down? People say Ethereum could be worth 3, 4, 5 times what it is now. Not just the currency, the entire community could be worth 3, 4, 5 times what it's worth now. Should this all go right? There are other people who believe it's going to go right to zero, that it's just going to kill the whole thing. And each group has their own reasons. Everyone's got their own reason about why they think it's either going to be like the greatest thing ever or the worst thing ever. No one agrees in any way. I cannot get a consensus from anybody about. I can't get a consensus from anyone about what they really believe is going to happen. All thought, yes, the quantum computer does look like the one at CES because IBM was kind enough to bring one of their quantum models. I think it wasn't a real one, but they certainly hung it up and pretended it was real. It wasn't running, but they did bring it to CES. And yeah, we showed that off to all of our people we took on tour at CES. I like talking about quantum computing. It's a good subject. I just don't know if it's actually going to be a thing for a minute. And I mean, when it is, look out. It's a different world. But sometimes technologies don't come as quickly as we hope they will, and sometimes they don't fulfill the full promise. These, at the moment, require extreme conditions. They run in very cold temperatures, and I haven't seen a lot of progress in the code that you'd need to write, in the operating systems or the code that you'd need to write to run a quantum computer. I just haven't seen it. I'm sorry. Let me let that go away. I hit that by accident. So I'm just gonna look something up online for you right now. I just don't know if it's gonna. Let me see. Let me see if I can find what I was looking for. Because there was there's so much of it now. I think you're going to have to do this research on your own. I maybe should have done it beforehand. What you're looking for is qubit simulators, and there's quite a few of them. I mean, the one I was using was Microsoft's, but there's one from Quest that I've also used, and there's let me see if I can find it. There's Quantum Plus Plus I've used, and Q++, which is a C++, like a library. It's a template library that I use. That if you know how to code in C++, or if you've ever done any C++ coding, Q++ is kind of a simulator you can use there. You should just, if you're interested in this, you just look it up. It's worth your time. It really, I think it is. I think it's totally worth your time, and I would heartily recommend that you go for it. Speaking of things that are heartily worth your time, may I take a moment and just say that every Tuesday we drop a Techstream. Seth Everett, my partner in crime, and I do Techstream with Shelly Palmer and Seth Everett. We're, I think, 13 or 14 episodes into it now. We're having a blast. We talk about pop culture, and we talk about tech, and we talk about sports a little bit. It's kind of just the two of us hanging out and talking about stuff, and we go a little deep. maybe deeper than we should. But it's available wherever you get your fine podcasts. Wherever fine podcasts are sold, you'll find it at Apple, and you'll find it at Spotify and Amazon and Google Play. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind, we'd love to have you there, and that would be great. Also, if you are not a PGX member, today's a day. In the channel description, whether you're on LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube, in the channel description, you'll see a link to pgx.tech. It's our private social network, and you're invited to join. If you're not a member already, please do. Great discussions there every day about whatever's happening in the world in technology, media, and marketing. We have a blast. Smart people there, and you're welcome to join. You all self-select when you come to crypto. Oh, thank you, Howie. No, it's not a new camera. I'm in my house in Connecticut. I'm in what we call the Bat Cave. It's a tiny room that has no windows, and so I can control the lighting completely. And I'm sitting a little closer. This is a 24 millimeter 1.8 lens on my normal A6600 Sony mirrorless camera. I got some lights up and a microphone right above me, and I don't have a second or third camera in this room yet because I just got here the other day. But thank you for noticing. I really appreciate that. While we're on the subject of things that are cool, the physical book, the actual paperback version of blockchain, cryptocurrency, NFTs, and smart contracts, the executive guide to the world of cryptocurrency and DeFi, has come out on Amazon, and I am stunned by the sales numbers. This I was not expecting. First of all, I wasn't expecting any of this to happen. The ebook became a #1 bestseller, which has to just be on the subject. It could have nothing, honest to God, it could have nothing to do with anything else that I mean, it's a hot topic. But a lot of people started asking for the paperback. And I was like, really? Like a book? Now? Because I only ever read on Kindle unless, well, that's not true. The books that I get for to learn computer languages, those I get in paper because I like to write and annotate all over the margins because I need to make those notes for myself. But if I don't need to annotate the book, so if it's just like a book I want to read, it's Kindle. And the reason is you can put like 20 books in your Kindle. When I was traveling incessantly back in the day, and I'm sure it's going to catch up with me again now, but when I was online, in airports 4 days a week, it's great to have a Kindle with you, or even if just on the Kindle app on your smartphone, and be able to read, just pick up where you left off. Books are this thick. How many of them could you put in your Road Warrior case? So the Kindle was a phenomenal way to get that massive pile off my night table and into my briefcase or my backpack. So I don't know. This has been years for me. I haven't picked up a regular book with the exception of a book about Python or an advanced JavaScript book or something, or a Java book. I just only computer languages. Anyway, people started asking, and I was like, okay, we can make one because Amazon does this. And there's some really funny stories I can tell at a later date about the way that Amazon. I know why Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world now. I completely know. It's off the backs of authors, flat out. But anyway, we made a paper book. I won't embarrass myself, and I'm not going to brag. I cannot believe how many paper books have sold in the last 4 days since it's been available, dwarfing the electronic sales. And it's a number that stunned me. And it dwarfs the electronic sales from when the electronic sales were started. And the book was #1 when it was selling electronically at that level in 3 categories. It's like number 24 now because but it came up like 300,000 places in rank on all of Amazon in a day. I'm like, what? I had no idea people were still into paper books. And if you're into paper books, I apologize. I swear I didn't know. I'm never just putting out an ebook again. Like I had no idea that like paper books, especially little paper books, were still a thing. The Kindle book is $2.99 and it's free if you're on Kindle Unlimited. And we did a promo last week. It was 99 cents. I mean, it's nothing to buy the Kindle. The book is $7.99. It comes to your house free if you're a Prime member, but they charge shipping if you're not a Prime member. I was like, oh my goodness, this is wow. So thank you to everybody who bought the paper book, and I apologize for taking so long to get it out there. I just literally had no idea, none whatsoever, that paper books were like a thing, like at that level. So I am humbled by it, and I am also, you learn something new every day. So again, this is, we have a few minutes left. Certainly AMA, you can ask me anything. I'm totally happy to answer your questions, and I'm totally happy to talk a little bit more, just a little bit more, about what I think is about to happen in the crypto world. Oh, we do have a question here. Cognitive difference between paper and cyber, Steve Catola. There is a cognitive difference. I will agree with you. There definitely is. Stephen writes, call it objective fetishism if you like, or if I want. I wouldn't call it that. I will say there are visceral experiences we all have for sure. I was gonna do my hit on Fox on Tuesday was supposed to be about this new study that just came out that says that digital doesn't make us stupider. And some university researchers put out a paper, scholarly work, researched and peer reviewed, that we're not getting stupider because of digital. And that's just not right. We are getting stupider. We're getting different stupider. We are getting stupider. And there's a ton of additional research done well in advance of this paper, where they studied back in 2000 the London cab drivers, the hippocampus of their brain, and the atrophy that happened when the London cab drivers, they used to have to take a test where they would need to know the whole of London. Now, unlike New York City, which is a grid, basically the streets go east-west and the avenues go north-south for Midtown, and you kind of can get around. Downtown's tougher. Wall Street area is tougher, but all of London is like Wall Street. It's just, there's no rhyme or reason to how London is set up. So the hack license in London used to require you to learn London, and then you could prove you knew it, and then they give you a license to be a London hack, a taxi driver in London. So when GPS got popular around 2000, a bunch of researchers decided they'd have a look. I think it was McGill University in Toronto that did the work. If they didn't do the original work, they did the follow-up work, because I've read that paper. And they did MRIs and the whole thing, and they figured out that the newer cabbies who were using GPS, or the cabbies who were originally very well schooled in the art of London and then started using GPS, that their brain atrophied, that the hippocampus of their brain atrophied over time. Also, they found that the London cab drivers that knew the city extremely well could not learn new things in as plastic a way. So that was interesting too. I don't know what to make of that, but I do know that, Stephen Catola, your question about, or your comment about cognitive differences between paper and cyber, there are some. We are living in a world with the body of knowledge of mankind in our hands, literally in our hands, and at least the publicly available body of knowledge of mankind, maybe not all the private stuff. Google doesn't have all of our private writing, but they certainly have all the public writing. I haven't memorized a phone number. I don't know when the last time I memorized a phone number is. I don't know when the last time I memorized somebody's address. I don't. Am I stupider? Yeah. I just am. I'm going to say yes. Am I using my brain differently? Did it free my brain up for other cool things? You be the judge. I don't know. But I definitely am not in a position to say that I'm any smarter today than I was 10 years ago or 20 years ago prior to my digital immersion. And I long for the day when I can turn all of my gizmos and gadgets off and just be, but I don't think that I'll ever be that disconnected from the universe again. Let's see. Horse and carriage trails. Yeah. I don't know where they are either. And Alan Mostow, the knowledge. Yeah, absolutely. Look, folks, this is a really important time of the week for me. I really like to interact with all of you. I like to play with my toys, and I like to talk crypto. We're doing all kinds of work in cryptocurrency. We have at least a half a dozen NFT projects going on right now. We're very proud of them. We have a bunch of consulting in and around cryptocurrency and digital exchanges and dApps, which are digital applications or distributed decentralized applications that are blockchain specific. So thank you, author. I appreciate you calling out the book. I did my best, and I'm updating that book on a regular basis. That's the beauty of Amazon. I will keep updating that book as new information becomes available, as new terms become available, so that the book doesn't go out of date. And at some point, we'll call it a new edition. But I'm definitely going to keep the book and the ebook updated. If you are into crypto, if you're thinking about it, if you're into the world of decentralized finance, if you're into the world of any kind of DApp, any kind of exchange, any kind of tool set that you think would be interesting, if you've got a blockchain project, please reach out and let us know about it. I'm fascinated to understand what your startup is doing, fascinated to learn about how you are approaching this brave new world of decentralized finance, and of course Web 3.0, which is going to be the subject of our next week's conversation. What will it be like? What will it be like in a brave new Web 3.0 world? And with that, I'll thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you all next time.